came in.
Yeah.
But just to let you know, because it's an experiment every time.
Yes, I've got to say got it. There we are.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know that it's being recorded. They're telling me that, and do I agree? Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, there's Cathy.
Hello, Cathy.
Yeah, hi, Cathy.
Oh.
I do
Okay.
moderation in the running.
No, don't start them off, please.
So, well, we don't. All we know is that this morning somebody came in and said to Alan, blah 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 blah, and you've got to meet. So we said, okay, when do you want us to meet? And they went 9 o'clock tonight. So that's
It'll
what we're
be
doing.
quite his time. So,
Well, you know, like I said, there's time. Time is different everywhere.
Of course it
who's
is.
the man? Who's the man that's talking? Because you
So,
might know him.
of course she knows him. Sir
Oliver
Oliver Lodge. Sir Oliver Lodge.
He wrote the book Raymond. He doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I told you that this afternoon. Yes,
Oh,
and he was.
Well, never mind. He's a good medium. He doesn't retain any information whatsoever.
Thank God.
And guess what? I was looking at this copy of Two Worlds that sort of fell into my hand.
Uh-huh.
And in it, Alan, you appear twice and I appear once.
Really?
Yes. Alan Acton at the SAGB, March the 12th, 2005, inquiring into spiritual phenomena.
Oh.
And further on in the same Two Worlds is myself. Oh no, there's David Nason's in it.
Good God.
So many different people in it that we know so well. Now where am I? Me. I put January the 30th, West Norwood.
Good God.
Well, there you go.
That was 2005. I couldn't see you in it, Judith, at that particular time.
It's fine.
But so many people like Andrew Woodley.
Oh,
was
I
at
remember him.
Eltham. Yeah, Andrew was at Eltham. Peggy Sinclair, Ian Taylor.
Oh yeah, I remember
Everybody.
him.
It was like the whole gang. All the gang.
Peggy's no longer with us now. She's with the Great Angels. Great Angels.
Oh wow.
But Julie Sinclair's still doing it.
Oh, is she? Oh,
yeah,
God.
Of course. Yeah.
Following in her mother's
footsteps. I was with them with the United Spiritualists. Now, Robin Winbow was doing something at Croydon.
Oh, I remember him.
We went to see him. We went to see him, didn't we, Alan?
That's right.
The 2 days before he passed.
Yeah, because he
I
think
he used to be at Pembridge Place, didn't he? You know,
that's right.
Pembridge.
We went to see him at his house. We went to see him at his house, and he did a trance session for there and told us all sorts of stuff. And he went to Germany, and he dropped dead from a heart attack in Germany 2 days later.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? I mean, that because everything that we're doing, everything you are doing tonight, Alan, is basically, you know, swilling around there. Like there was me sort of preparing sort of stuff because I'd been reading it of David Nason. He was doing a demo on January the 5th at his Venner Road Centre, which as well. Bexley Heath was Pauline Woodhatch.
Oh, Pauline.
And Eddie Brame.
Oh, I remember him.
President of the United Spiritualists. And Christine Easton. Judith.
Oh, God. I remember her.
Yeah, so many of them, so many of us, really. We were all doing stuff then, full blast. And Alan, you were doing something else as well.
What was I?
You were serving somewhere too.
Oh.
I think you might have been at Fulham, I'm not sure.
Oh, probably were. That's where Jean Way.
Yeah, that's Jean right. Way, yeah. Do you remember she used to sell cigarettes in the basement?
That's right. She's dead now, is she not?
To swell that, I think she's gone. To swell the church funds.
Oh God.
Things we used to do for the church.
Exactly.
Oh, Andrew Woodley, would you believe, was serving as well.
Oh God, I remember him all.
And Len Tatt. at
Oh, I
Fulham.
remember him. He's now working
Dinah
at the
Annabelle.
SAGB.
Yeah.
Dinah Annabelle. Yeah, Len was at the SAGB with you.
Yeah.
Only then he was called Leonard.
Oh, well, he's back there again now.
Yeah, he
Right.
went off to become a Catholic priest,
Yeah, and
decided
then
that he
came
didn't
back.
want to become a Catholic priest and left the Catholic Church and's gone back to being a spiritualist at the SAGB.
Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. And Ian Taylor was at Welling.
Oh, yeah, Ian Taylor. Always has a
I
washing
served there
machine.
as well. I served there. Hayden Clark was my chairman and he fell asleep. He told me he was not asleep. Every time I turned around, he had his eyes shut.
Oh,
I
wow.
reckon he was asleep.
He
He
probably
didn't
was.
snore.
Well, he's definitely permanently asleep now.
Of course, Hayden's up there now.
Yeah.
And Tim Abbott was at Windsor,
Oh,
Was that
serving
after
on
he went to
January
prison?
30th. Yeah, there was lots of things in here, Alan. I'm trying to see where you were again.
Oh, God.
Oh, Alan, you were you must have been somewhere. I must have written down where you were. I know that you were serving somewhere else apart from the SAGB. But yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
It
And
is.
we're
all
still
they
here.
say.
I've got a feeling, you know, that you're going to be overtaken soon. Because I can see your face changing,
Oh,
Alan.
God.
I can see them in the background on the wall.
All done.
Yeah. There's all sorts of light flashing around you, but don't let it put you off.
Just go to sleep, Alan. Have you got plenty of water, Alan?
Yeah, we haven't. I've got water in it.
Let me just
Because
see
sometimes, you know.
let me see if Yvette's going to come in. Sorry, couldn't join you. Was watching a film and completely forgot. Always been a bit of a day. Right, so Yvette's not coming in, so that's
Right,
okay.
that's fine.
Well, we're here. We're here. And oh, here we are. We've got Don Galloway at the London Spiritual Mission. I was just mentioning that at Pembridge Place.
Yeah.
He was there. Betty Stewart, Judith.
Oh, bless her.
Oh,
She was serving. June Kamara.
I remember her and all. Yeah.
She's
So
still
many.
around.
Yeah.
And Robert Brown. Do
Oh,
you remember him
God.
at
Oh,
Lewis?
I
yeah.
remember him.
The healer.
And
Oh,
he'd been to New York or somewhere, and his address was full of how he'd gone shopping.
Oh, well.
I
Right, have you got plenty of
remember
water,
that.
Alan?
yes, you already asked me that.
Oh, sorry. Right,
Well,
get
I'm
on
going
with
to
it
log off
then.
now.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
Really weird because I can hear muttering under his breath. I can hear somebody talking to him, but I can also see them on my wall here, on the in front of me on my wall, and on the wall in his house as well. It's really weird.
Well, what we want them to do, if they're listening, of course, which they are, is sort of project on the behind Alan,
Yeah.
or Reverend Alan, so we can see as well. Because just to say that, you know, we're going out to a lot of people who are going to be watching this afterwards, of course.
Well, they did ask.
Oh, look at you, Judith. Look above your head, Judith.
I know, it's always like that.
There we are. You've got some lights up there. Oh, yeah, there's loads of lights dancing about now. I'm not even looking at us.
Yeah, you've got lights in your house as well. Over Cathy's right shoulder, on that bit of wall behind you, there's a lady standing in the corner.
Good.
But when we do this, people appear above my head up here.
Yeah, well, there's where your finger is.
Yeah.
Where your hand is, you've got.
There's a woman. Look, she's coming out. She's coming out now. She's got little round glasses and she's got those sort of gummy teeth that she'll push her face out in a minute.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
changing.
yeah.
He's changing colour now.
Yeah, his hair's changing as well.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Marvellous. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely being a spiritualist.
And we've done quite a lot of this in lockdown. So
Hello.
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 How are
Hello.
you all people?
Very well,
I
thank
hope you're
you.
well. I'm the introduction to the others that wish to come through.
Is that you,
And
Maud?
how is Miss Judith?
I'm fine, thank you. Is that you, Mrs. Maud?
It is.
There you go. Thank you.
Now, tonight is going to be a night of explosionary results, let's hope. Because I know we all believe in the afterlife and we all believe in the spirit. So it's going to be a grand occasion, I've got to say.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank you.
thank me yet, dear, until it's over and done with. Because we have not done this for such a long time now.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
But we know what goes on in your world. And we sympathise with many a person in your world that have now lost a lot of loved ones to our world.
Mm.
Which is a great shame. But there's always
Mm.
a purpose, you know, why this happens. And I'm sure you ladies would know about what the purpose is. If you don't, then I suggest you think about it. Because spirit is spirit and human are human, and we cannot give out every single result that we know that what's going to happen.
Of course not.
No.
But we do know that whatever's going on in your world now will come to an end very, very shortly.
Good.
And if you think that the spirit world cannot hold the amount of spirits that have come over, we can, you know. You know, our world is so much better than your world.
Yes.
There's cleanness, there's cleanliness, there's such beauty and such colours that you'll never see in your world. Because your world consumes of smoke, dirt and dust. And you have flying objects in the sky now, I'm aware.
We do. We do.
We do.
Which cause a great fueling disaster, really. And the same as your automobiles as well. Where
Yes.
in my day was more horsey and trap, or horse and coach, or horse
Yes.
and cart.
Yes.
So I know that you know the difference between my life and your life.
We do.
And the more you learn, the more you'll understand what's going to happen and what's going on in the world. Because everybody wonders and everybody thinks, and they all come to the conclusion that they know best. But do they know best?
No.
Because everybody has an interpretation on what they think they know, when really they don't know at all. It's a mere guesswork, I would say. But enough of me talking. I'm sure that the world of spirit wish to come through and speak with you all. It is nice to be greeted by such lovely spiritual people. And I know that you've got many years ahead of you, all of you, to go yet.
Thank you.
And much learning to do as well. And much writing to do, Judith.
Yeah, okay.
Which you keep being told, but you're not doing no about it yet. And you've got to. Haven't you, dear?
Yes, Maud.
Yes, you keep saying yes, but you don't do no about it.
Okay.
And you've got to put your little pencil to your papers and start writing down your thoughts. Because, you know, believe it or not, you're a very spiritual girl who holds great knowledge, like the other two ladies that are with you. And it's about time that you shared your knowledge with others that don't have the knowledge or think they know they have the knowledge and they don't.
Mm.
So it will be very interesting to see a book by Judith coming out into the atmosphere and for others to read.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
do you agree with me there, Judith?
Yes, yes, Maud.
You keep saying yes, but you don't do note about it.
Okay, I promise I'll do something about it.
Well, if you don't, then I'm going to spank you,
Okay, no problem.
spiritually, of course.
Of course.
So I hope to see that what day or year are you in at the moment?
We're in 2021 going into 2022.
And is that a long way to go, 2022?
No, a few days
No.
into 2022.
Well, then you can make the New Year's resolution of making sure that you write your book or write your messages.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I hope it is okay, because you keep saying okay and you don't do note about it.
Okay, Maud.
And I'm sure I can persuade Lynn here to punish you properly if you don't do it.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
You have
Yes,
been gifted
yes.
you have been gifted with knowledge all your life, and you have learned all your life, and it's about time that you come out now and show people what you're made of.
Okay.
So I will bid you soon, and God bless you all. And
God bless you, Maud.
Thank you.
And well done to the woman, Catherine, that is there as well, on her little running spots that she does. So she gets a brownie point. So I will leave that with you now,
Okay, thank you,
and I
Maud.
will speak to you very soon.
Okay.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, Maud.
Good
Goodbye.
evening,
God bless you.
everyone. And how are you all today?
Good evening.
It is nice, and
Good
it is a
evening.
great pleasure to be with you all this evening. As promised, I said I will come, and here I am.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
thank
you.
me yet, dear, not until it's all over. Always, always thank yourself for being in the presence of spirit.
Mm.
Life in my time was very hard and very demanding, and not everyone believed what I believed in. So I chose to stick to the pathway that I was on, and was determined to make a great name for spirit and make a great name for what it represents. And still, even today, my name is mentioned. Books have been written and rewritten with various changes and not always the truth.
Mm.
Now, I know that there are old publications of my books that some people do have and some people don't. I wish the publications of my books to be known to everybody else. Spirituality will always carry the light of Christ and the light of God, as we all know. And all three of you ladies here tonight, the medium as yourself, stand on a high pedestal. And we know that you speak rewardingly about spirit, and consciously you think of spirit, and you even write about spirit. But your earlier lives were not as spiritual as they are now.
No.
No. So you see, there's always been a hard road to test, as there was in my day, because I never believed what I believed in the end to what I should have believed when I was younger. But it's a road that we all have to choose, and it's a road that we learn to stay on, regardless to what our lives will be or are to come. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, the thing about life is, life has its rewards, but it also has its disappointments as well. And we have all, including myself, had disappointments over the years where people have chosen not to believe in the afterlife, not to believe in heaven, and not to believe in Christ or God, that they always believed that there was a hell, and the price you had to pay was to face hell itself, which we all know is not true.
Yeah.
We've all had witnessed spiritual things over the years, whether they be of despair, or whether they be of the spirit, or whether they be of reports, or whether they be of anything spiritual, the lights, the whites, the blues, everything would represent a spiritual being. Now, if you look at yourselves in a mirror, which I don't know if you do or not, you would see a wonderful silver-colored aura around you all. Now, how many people or how many of you actually witness this?
Very
I take
few.
it that very few. Well,
Mm.
this is something that needs to be taught to others. We have a representation of the Great Spirit himself, and we do observe the good, like the film, the good, the bad, and the ugly, which I know was a film in your world many years ago. And they are the people that need to be vetted properly and not to be given in lightly. Spirit is to be taken seriously without question, because it is spirit and spiritual or spirituality that means more to you than it does in life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And you'll see, the more we grow, the more we nurture. And the more we nurture, the more knowledge comes in. And the more it comes in, the more you shed words with others. Even those that believe that they are the far greater and the more authentic person who believes they know everything, but really they know nothing. Because they listen and they learn and they leech on. And I use the word leech because they are a leech, which sticks to you until they've got all the information. Then they use the information to make themselves look wonderful and good. But I will say that the spirit is taking care of these kind of people that are in your world. And it is a great shame that these things happen, because we are all here for the same reason. We are all mediums. We're all healers. But how many times do we heal ourselves? How many times do we actually think of ourselves? We don't, and we should. We are too busy worrying about other people. We are too busy indicating other people where we should take time out for ourselves and fester on our own little problems that we have in life and deal with them. The spirit will always be with you, and with you it will stay. Now, I know all three of you are healers in your own rights. Now, I know all three of you are mediums in your life. But question yourself on what your past was like. Do you still hold on to it? In which case you shouldn't. But it's the mind of the person that holds on to the greatest, or the greater, or the lesser. And it's time to let go of the past and venture out more on the positive and the creative side of life. Now, all three of you have been abroad, I take it.
Yes.
You've been abroad and you have sampled the goodness and the badness in other people or countries.
Yes.
You have been humiliated and you have been called in frauds.
Yes.
Or let's say you've been called fakes.
Witches.
Yes. Yes.
Which you have stood your ground and you have stood your purpose for what you truly represent. Because they are the kind of people we need in life. We need truth. We don't need liars. We want honesty, not liars. And as you know, the more I traveled on, the more hostility came into my life.
Yes.
And hostility does hurt. It makes you think, am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing? But you are always doing the right thing. Now, I take it all three of you pray as well.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't hear your voice then, Judith.
Yes.
You said that harshly, dear. You didn't say
Sorry,
that.
sorry, Sir Oliver. Yes, I do pray. Thank you.
But do you pray for yourself?
I do.
And does the other two ladies, the Lady Lynn, do you pray for yourself?
Yes.
And does the Lady
Yes.
Catherine pray for herself?
Yes,
You sound very negative, dear.
I'm not.
Are you tired? Are you worn out?
You could say that.
Yes, I can say that because I know your busy, busy life. He is partially humane, but also spiritual as well. So combining both together thrives you on with considerable back and leg pain.
Right.
Is that correct?
Neck pain, perhaps.
Well, the neck connects to the back connects to the legs.
Yes.
So we suffer. In your world, in my world, we don't suffer. We just wish to impart knowledge of what you all should be doing to make the spirits more wiser, more stronger, and more better. Now, I take it you have all had a version of the Bible,
Yes.
or many Bibles, in fact.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I know the Lady Lynn has more than one Bible in a different language, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
And Judith, you have an old Bible, but not as old as the one Lynn has.
No, and I've also got one in Hebrew.
Well, I wasn't asking you that, dear, but never mind. But what's your question, Judith?
What's my question? Oh, I haven't
Your
thought of a question. I haven't
I
thought.
Your
have.
mind has been very busy.
I haven't thought of a question yet.
I have a
Rises.
question.
What is your question?
Well, I wanted to ask you, please, how could I publicize your work more? That I will do that. I have at least one book by you that perhaps could do with an airing in this modern age.
In the modern age, I believe that modern and non-modern combine very nicely together. The old words of which I would use would be very fundamental for your world and of now. It would give people a clearer understanding if explained to the right person. You're a very eager woman, Lynn. Your heart is in the right place, and I know that you wish to write many an article, which you have done practically most of your life. But your articles have actually got better and better as time has gone on, so I'm told.
Thank you.
So you have a great, vast spiritual knowledge. And there's still a lot more to come from you as well.
I just wondered whether I could read some passages, perhaps.
You may read me some passages. It makes a change for a human person to read.
Well, I wasn't going to read you the passages now, but I was going to suggest that perhaps I could read some passages, as we broadcast them. Yes.
Well, I think that would be a very good idea, and to publicize it and make people understand that spirits are spirit. Spirits are not an imagination. They are not a machine. We are real people. We are real solid people in our world. So our people and your people, you are the ghosts, we're not. Because we've returned home, and that's where we belong. So we suffer no illness, no fates, no disasters, where we know your world does.
Yes.
And time is of the essence as I've heard people say, how long will I live? How long have I got? But I always say, how long is a piece of string? Because that is the only question. No one knows when death is upon us to start our new life in the spirit. but I can honestly say that you have a long way to go.
Thank you.
And there's much knowledge to both Lynn and Judith that need to be aired a lot more.
Hmm.
And it's important to understand that reading of spiritual matters of the past older book is far more important than reading a modern day book where the translation is not so clear and not so bright as an old book.
Right.
Okay.
Now you have
Right.
many books, Lynn.
Yes.
And some of your books are, I would say, a traditional old brand.
Yes. Yes, they are, including yours, sir.
Thank you so much. But you don't need my wisdom. You've got your own wisdom, which you need to impart on other people. Because there are many persons in your world, as you know, that mock.
Yes.
And the mocking is due to lack of understanding of the spiritual essence.
Yes.
And those that mock, I always find that they are ignorant and very arrogant, where there is no need to be in that caliber at all. We should all be humble and we should serve God as he should be served.
Yeah.
What is your question, Judith?
I still can't think of a question. I'm quiet for a change. I'm silent.
Well, this is very disturbing that you're quiet, because normally your lips are pounding away and your brain is normally pounding away. But there's no need in thinking a question after.
No.
So it is important now that you think of a question or questions.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. So Alan and I have been working on the physical side of spiritualism and the phenomena side of spiritualism. Are we going down the right track?
Well, if you wasn't there, I wouldn't be here tonight, would I?
Okay.
So that was rather an absurd question to ask.
No, because we can't figure out sometimes why the people that come to visit us come to visit us. And I know it's about truth and honesty and discretion and all the other things, but is it time for us to publish some of our things?
There is always a time for everyone to witness everything.
Okay.
But spirituality is something that needs to be witnessed by others.
Okay.
And why must you always think that because of the common, ordinary woman, let's say that you are, should not receive someone like myself or someone greater?
Yeah.
It has no conditions whatsoever.
We've been very privileged. We've been very, very privileged with some of the people that have come to talk to us. And we really appreciate it.
I believe that you had a woman with you some time ago that flew the plane across the water.
Yes.
Now, do you remember her name?
Amy, yes.
Amy what?
I can't remember her surname.
Well, that's shameful on you, dear.
I've got it written down. I can remember what she told me. Johnson, Amy Johnson.
Now, you see, Miss Lynn, I would know, Amy Johnson.
Yeah. But I can tell.
Lynn,
go on.
No, don't say go on. What was you going to say?
I could tell you exactly what she told me and exactly how she described her flight from
But I don't
London
really
to Paris.
wish to know what her flight was. I was just telling you about this wonderful woman.
Yes, yes.
And of course, there are many wonderful people in the world of spirit that in time will partake in conversations. Now, I take it you've heard of Oscar Wilde.
Oh, yes.
And you've heard of many other. Now, tell me, have you heard of a woman called Diana Dawes?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, she will make herself known to you at some point.
Thank you.
And there's also a gentleman called Peter Shelley.
Okay.
So I hope you're writing this down, dear.
Yes, I am.
And there's the Duke of Cambridge as well.
Okay.
And a lady called Princess Alice, as she was in your world.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Princess Alice was very connected with Deptford.
There you are. And also Queen Victoria, as she was in your world.
Mm. Mm.
So there are many, many people that will make themselves known to you in their voice, not the medium's voice.
Yes.
So that way you will recognize who is who and what is what.
Thank
Otherwise, it's very
Yeah.
confusing for a man to speak like a woman where you know it's a man talking.
you. Yes.
Spirits have their own voices only through the medium. They cannot speak unless through the medium.
Yes.
Mhm.
Does this make sense?
It does indeed.
Now, I know you are recording this,
Yes.
but could we take a 15-minute break?
Yes, we can stop it for we can stop the recording for a pause.
Right, well, whatever you've got to do, dear, do it.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Right, I'll get out the way.
that's all right. So we're resuming the recording after a 15-minute break. Round 2.
I can't remember, Cathy. Sorry. Just don't worry about it.
The thing is, you'll find it when you least expect to find
really.
it.
I know.
We were reading about his ghost club this afternoon. So he started the ghost club in 180 whatever it was, with like-minded people, and it's still running today.
Not the golf club.
No, not the golf club, the ghost club. Spook Society.
No, girl, you got it wrong. It's a spiritualist society.
Thank you, Maud.
Not the ghost. We're not ghosts.
I know that, but they
Have you
call it
seen a ghost?
No, I've seen a spirit.
Well, then let's refer to them as spirit or spiritual, not ghosts.
Okay. I was talking about a society called the Ghost Club.
I've not heard of it.
Oh, you've not
Then I
missed
wouldn't
much.
really. I know. If it was a good place, I would have mentioned it. But we don't need no place like that to learn when we can learn ourselves.
Yes.
Knowledge is for those to feed on, not to read about. Especially from people like the Ghost Club. Sounds like a biscuit.
Yeah, like a Garibaldi.
What is a Garibaldi?
It's a biscuit that's got currants in or sultanas in.
Oh, no, we can't have that. It's a waste of good currants. You should try some good oatmeal biscuits. They're good for the bowels, but good for yourself as well.
They're good with cheese on.
No, dear, they're not good with cheese. These are for mice and for rats, not for bickies.
Okay.
So are you well and have you enjoyed it so far?
We are enjoying it, thank you.
Well, I'd so know if you wasn't, because I wouldn't come through and talk to you.
Thank you, Maud.
Don't thank me, dear. You must thank yourselves for listening to the spirits. Because you'll always and only get the truth. No fabrication and no lies, as you well know.
Definitely.
Even though we keep telling you to write your book for years now, and you still haven't done it.
I know. Well, I've made a promise now, so I'll
Don't
do it.
make excuses now, Jodie.
No.
Now, I take it you know that you don't wish to speak to your mother.
No, you know that.
Well, no, I don't know that because I don't know your mother.
No, I don't wish to speak to my mother, thank you.
Well, good, because she's not here anyway.
Good.
But I know your daddy's with everybody over here as well.
Yes.
And he sends you a great deal of love.
Thank you, Maud.
Now we must get the ball rolling because I've got several people queuing up. And one of them seems a very cantankerous person, you see. But the other gentleman speaks very nicely. He speaks with an upper crust kind of accent, if I can say. Not what you call a northerner at all. And I'm going to give you a little clue, if I may. Well, can I give you a little clue or not?
Of course you can.
But then I said to you, can I give you a little clue, if I may? And you didn't answer.
Of course you can, Maud.
Well, all I was saying is a little clue is that this person who wishes to speak next first conducted a service with his mother in a church when he was 14
Oh,
years
yes.
Yes, my
Yes,
dear,
I know who that is.
my dear
Don't
friend that used to,
don't say you're ruining it already, George.
I know.
You must control your urges. But he's a very well-known, and I believe that he was of a quite high standard in your world,
Very.
even though he had issues himself to deal with. And I can also say, you know, that there were many a skeptical person that would hound this poor man till the day he passed,
Oh, bless him.
because the evidence he gave was outstanding. And it wasn't down to his mother, it was down to his own development. He was also a trance medium as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and also a materialistic medium as well.
Yes.
But his mediumship, as you would say in your world, shot through the roof. To his own training. And you know, soon as this poor gentleman passed away, they still stuck the knife in him.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the gall or the guts to actually tell him to his face. It was always behind the back. Which to me is such a shame, because they're not true people or truthful people. If they were truthful, they would have confronted him, but they didn't. So I would leave you in the hands of the gentleman that wishes to speak. And I do believe that there's someone here, there's several people here that you would know of, George.
Okay.
That maybe wish to say hello to yourselves and to the other two ladies as well.
Okay.
So I will leave you for the moment, and I will say God's blessing to you all.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
Well, I've already been blessed, but thank you so much. I will go back to cooking me oat cakes, not currant cakes.
Okay.
Like you said. You may keep them and eat the biscuit with the currant separately, but not together. It's unheard of.
She said, it's Gary Waters. So Judith said, biscuit with currants in. Oh, no.
I quite agree, dear. Oh, no. I can still hear you, you know.
I like a squash pie biscuit.
You should eat some nice oat biscuits. They're good for the stomach and good for the bowels.
Okay.
They make sure they work all the time. Right, I will speak to you soon. He is coming. I've just got to drag him on first. He keeps talking. I've told him it's in evening time in your world. I do apologise.
It's all right. Just take your time.
Well, that we have plenty of, dear.
That and a sense of humour.
Well, if you haven't got a sense of humour, then you may as well not live. All spirits have a sense of humour. We just know how to use it correctly and not incorrectly. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And how are you all today?
Very well, thank you.
Thank
Fine,
you
thank
as
you.
well for coming through. It is most pleasant and most acceptable that you're here. I have changed the suit I was wearing because I only required a suit. You would never ever see me in uncomfortable attire. And I always addressed people as sir or madam. Only very special friends would I call them by their names. But apart from that, courteousness always counts.
Definitely.
It pays to be courteous and non-courteous.
Mm.
As I found in my time and my duration in your world, that people were not as nice and as kind as they made out they were. But it's a lesson that we all learn. But it's a very hard lesson we have to learn, but one that we don't give up and we don't give in. I myself have taken many knives in the back throughout the duration of time. And the knives did come out in the end because I refused to accept the torturous results of what people were saying and what people were doing. I found it unforgiving and unkind of these people, and they were people I knew. I knew them very, very well. I wined with them, I dined with them. I shared stories with them, and I shared information with them. And they used it against me to make themselves more profitable and more known. So I found out the better way is to leave that kind of path and find my own, which I did in the air.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got recordings of him. I'll show you after.
Am I disturbing you all?
No, certainly not.
I just wondered because I wouldn't want to interrupt your conversation.
No. I am sorry. I was so excited, and I was just explaining to Cathy who you are.
Well, that's very kind of you. Very, very kind. As you know, kindness comes from the heart, but also it comes from the mind. And as we all know, the mind and the brain is completely two separate issues.
Yes.
The brain is a human thing, the mind is a universal thing. So everything you retain in your world here, you bring to the spirit, and you still manage to serve your world by being spiritual, which I plan to do and have been doing for a long time now. But there is a lot of teachings to be done. but of the old standard, not of the new standard. New standard, to me, you know, there is not enough evidence that come from the mediums of today. They are too eager and too rushing in for anyone to take anything. I could stand up and I could say, I'll give you a grandmother. And then people say, oh, yes. How do they know? Oh, yes, because I've not told them what grandmother looks like. They're more interested in the message.
Yeah.
But the evidence is more suitable and it's more evidential than the message. And people would turn away from you if they didn't get a message. So I do believe, you know, that as time has gone on, and I use the word most harshly, but there's been so much selfishness and a lot of arrogance. And that's not only with the SNU, but with every organisation going. And I'm not saying yours is one of them, Mrs. Lynn. But if you look at others, you'll find that it deteriorates.
Definitely.
The SNU in time will deteriorate. It needs to come under new management. And it will come under new management with new standards. Because all the money that has been made for Stansted has not always been used for Stansted. It's been used to line people's pockets, all for the wrong reasons and for self-gain. And it's just sad that in my time, there was no self-gain. Self-gain was reaping the rewards of serving the spirit. And, you know, all the churches and all the places that I served, I would not take ever a penny because of the gifts that I had. And, you know, there was many experimental tests done on myself to prove again that I wasn't worthy, but I proved them wrong. And it's like the many a great medium, the Minnie Harrison.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Minnie Harrison, or the great Ellen Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are both in the spirit now. Now, they were ridiculed for years and years. And they were tortured for years and years by people and non-believers. And there were non-believers in those days, as there are non-believers, I think, in your day as well.
Definitely.
Because not everyone believes unless they get a message. So we have to ask ourselves, do they actually love their relatives that have passed on, or don't they? Are they only interested in where their life's going, but not of their relatives, how they are, what are they doing, have they survived? Many questions need to be asked. And, you know, in an address, this needs to be rectified and it needs to be spoken about. That evidence of a message is not always important. When the Fox sisters, I believe it's the Fox sisters, with the banging and the rapping of the knees.
Yes.
Now, was it not true that they were proven to be fakes?
Not sure.
Well,
No.
you need to read the book.
They weren't fake.
Were they not, or were they?
No, no.
No, they weren't. Because a lot of people didn't believe. So they fabricated that knees were knocking because they were knocking. And there was no sound coming from the walls or the doors. And if you look at the older medium, Sapia Palladino, they're far, far greater mediums than Florence Cook.
Yeah.
There have been many a great, great medium. But in your world today, where is the great medium now? Can you actually, in your own hearts, direct and say, yes, he's one or she's one? Because I have looked and I have searched and I have not found anybody in your world that is far fitting, let us say, to meet my standards or anyone else's standards that was once in your world. So the question of mediumship is simple. You either know or you don't know your relatives. And if they don't know their relatives, then what gives them the right to be entitled to a message? And I've heard so many people in your world say, well, am I going to win the lottery? Am I going to get married? Is my husband cheating on me? It is fortune telling.
Definitely.
And fortune telling is not allowed by the spirit. So there's a lot to learn and a lot to speak about that need to be re-brought to the surface. Because if it's not brought to the surface, then people will never know. And your articles, Miss Lynn, would be actually ideal for you to write about the truth of spiritism and spiritualism.
Thank you.
Because I know that people listen and they read with excitement on what you write. I know you have got a lot of critics that would say, oh dear, she's writing again, what a load of balderdash. But there are a lot of people that actually do enjoy reading what you're writing. And
Thank you.
they look forward to the next installment.
Thank you.
So I think a change of direction where in your modern world now, the old spiritualism once again returns, not with the mention of old mediums, but you could drop a few names and state what they were like and how they were liked as mediums in their
Yes.
time and what they proved.
Yes.
And no one can say they didn't prove because they did. And they
Yes.
hardly ever sat in circle because they were self-born, like myself, self-taught, self-born. So it's a great mission that we're all on, or you're all on it, all three of you, to become great healers, great mediums, and great inspirers, great writers, for others to read about and accept the knowledge, but never leave a question unturned. Always answer the questions what people throw at you, because they're always looking for answers which are not there, but there's always an answer for spirit.
Yes.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You're very quiet, Judith, dear.
I'm being very controlled today.
But I would say that makes a great change. But you see, being quiet and installing your mind on a different level of consciousness also helps the mind and the soul become one.
Definitely.
And if we cannot meet in the middle, then who can we meet?
Mm.
And that is a question, you see. So I hope that my little piece of input has helped,
Definitely.
because it is far greater to win than to lose. And as they say, it's far better to win the battle than to lose the battle, or win the war and not lose the war. And we haven't lost the war yet, I feel.
No.
And it's always going to be the good against the bad, which has happened since time began. But we will always be the winners and not the losers, as long as we keep the flag of spirit flying, and as long as we all believe in what we do believe in, which is Almighty God and Jesus and everybody else that follows. But I will say, never be afraid to speak out. Because I've done many a speech and people clapped and they cheered, but outside behind closed doors, it wasn't always the laughter and the clapping, it was more ridicule, which I always knew then. That's their belief, and that was my belief. But I chose to believe that I was one of the chosen people, as you are today.
It's about speaking the truth.
The
And being
truth is the
honest.
truth, and it is. The word is honesty is the best policy. And that is the way that it's always been and always will be. So I will bid you farewell.
Thank you, Gordon.
And you go on with your good work.
Thank
And
you.
don't forget to pray. Prayer is the most powerful thing that you could have as a weapon. And it's a good weapon, not a bad weapon. And it will always and always protect one against the other, if you see my meaning.
Definitely.
And those that don't pray, this is their loss.
Yes.
So I will bid you farewell.
Farewell, my friend.
Now, how was that then? Did you enjoy that little chat with the man?
Yes, definitely more.
Wasn't it grand, you know?
Yes, yes.
He talks far better than I do, you see. But then I come from a different kind of area than he did. And my humble little life was far more, as he was degrading. But we all have different standards and we all have different lives. But in the spirit, we are all but one. Is that not right?
It is right, yes.
Yeah.
Now I've come back again.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of you that are listening today. And I hope that we have helped you in many ways of understanding of the spirit.
Thank you.
And do you find that this is a new turning point in your lives now, which will turn around?
Yes.
Thank you.
My great pleasure to you and to you all. And I bid you farewell.
Farewell, my friend.
God bless
Farewell.
you all.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Right, I'm going to turn the recording off.